All right, Rub It Down, episode 14. We are here with Luke Thomas after that gnarly crash, and what a season he's had. Let's get straight into it. Luke, brother, thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
Now, gnarly. First of all, we've just talked off real quick there. Bro, are you okay, for starters? Because
yeah,
everyone on socials is like, is he this? Is he okay? That would have hurt his brain. The G-force, this. And I'm like, I don't have answers for you, but I know he's okay. I text him. So.
yeah, yeah. No, I'm all good. Obviously I'm a little bit sore and stuff in my neck and that, but other than that, I came out pretty unscathed, which is good. It just goes to show how safe these things are, and if you wear your right protective gear and stuff like that, things like this can be fine.
Now, do you want to give a plug to your safety gear? Because I think they deserve it. Like, what harness do you use? Like race suit, everything, bro, because that was pretty
Yeah,
gnarly.
yeah, I know. I think well, I wear the hybrid neck brace, so it's not the Hans one. Obviously Arrow helmet. I think my suit's K1. I'm pretty sure. I'm not too sure. And yeah, other than that, that kept me safe. So I'm happy, and I'm just happy to be, on all
Mm.
fours, and we're all good.
What about your seatbelts?
Y-
Were you meeting two veg all right? Because that's a bit of a good squish
Yeah,
there.
I know. Yeah, I had a few people message me saying make sure there's still two down there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not sure if that had to stretch the bolts. I've heard stories about big crashes
Yeah.
stretching people's seatbelts and stuff like that. But to be honest, I don't think they did. My head didn't hit the steering wheel or anything like that.
Yeah.
I felt like as big as it looks, it did hurt a little bit, but I thought it would have felt a lot worse than what it looked.
Yeah. So take us through, like, you're 24 hours after. What'd you do? Where'd you go? Did you get checked? Like, what's your
Um,
thoughts after that? It's pretty gnarly. Your phone would have been blowing up for sure.
yeah, so Sunday I had a little bit of a sleep in. It was obviously Mother's Day, and we actually went as a family to the Hawkesbury show, and spent
Yeah,
the day
right.
out there. I went, and then I did feel a little bit how you going Sunday arvo, and I went to bed probably about 6 o'clock. Woke up at 9 o'clock this morning, and I felt a little bit, just my belly and stuff felt a little bit weird. So I was like, but I went to North Shore Hospital just to get just a double check, and yeah, I just told him I'd been in a pretty bad car crash, and they hooked me up to some machines and stuff like that, and I did an MRI and a couple blood tests, and everything came back all right. So yeah, I just wanted a bit of peace of mind, just going back to work and going to the gym. I just wanted to make sure everything was fine, and yeah, it was all good.
Car crash, Binny. Just go on. Like, what? You're in normal clothes, yeah? So you would have just walked in. Did you say racing? Like, Binny, could you
Yeah,
imagine, like,
well,
I've been in a car crash. I'm okay, but can I get checked?
nah, well, I did say race car. I said like a
Okay.
race car crash, and they were like, "Oh, do you got any like photos or videos?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." I pulled up the video and I showed her, and the lady's jaw hit the floor. Now it would have been two. It would have been 2 minutes. So I had a neck brace on. I had all these wires hanging off my chest. I was
Yeah.
out the back in the emergency. I was like thinking I've been walking around for 2 days, pretty all right. But, yeah.
Bro, that is sick.
So, so what's the plan now? Obviously, a lot of teams are obviously finished for the season. Um, like, what's your plan now? Is it like, were you doing any of those shows up in Toowoomba, or will you just strip the car down and sort of assess what damage you have and the car ready for
Um.
next season?
Yeah, so I wasn't planning on doing the 3 nights in Toowoomba, but our off seasons aren't really an off season as such. There's that much to do in our off season, so I think my plan is I got the car back at home now. I'll probably pull the motor out probably this week, the weekend, start pulling it apart, and get it sent away for a rebuild because this one's due for a rebuild, and then yeah, I'll start pulling the car apart. I'll wash it first, and then I'll start pulling it apart. But the chassis from the weekend's a little bit sore. That definitely will need a front clip, so I'll probably take that up to Brad Hilder up in Queensland. He's really good. That's who does my frames. We'll probably send that up there, and I'll just start piecing another car together and getting all the spares ready, getting all, making sure everything's ready properly for next season, because that's probably a little bit that what hurt me at the start of the season. I probably, hit the ground behind the eight ball a little bit at the start of the season, which is probably why it took me so long to get going well at the end there. But eyes forward for the new year. I want to have a really good crack at it next year. So I'm going to do everything in my power to go good.
Yeah, mate. Like this season, definitely like that's Sydney. Just there's been a few shows where we've turned and went, oh, the 15's at the front. Oh, he's moving today. And I think Binny one night, and we always take the piss, or we actually never post it. We never post these bits, right? But we always say like, oh, what's your same race moldy tonight, like, or whatever. And I think it was a night you actually ran third. First night, and Binny was like, oh, this, and 15 Thomas. And I went, Thomas in your top 5, eh? And I'm like, yeah, he's been going all right. I didn't give him great odds, not going to lie. But, you got the job, you got that top 3, or I think did you miss out on the top 3, or you got one? There was one of those nights, I swear, like you got it, and then you just lost it.
Me and Benny, BJ Jr. got together one night, last lap, last corner while
That's
I was running
it.
third.
That's the one.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I think it was a few nights, or maybe the next meeting after that, when I got one back.
Yeah,
and I did come third. But we've been really back here at home. I was saying to Dad, like, now that I've been running up with those front guys for the last part of the year, like, I've not done my own head in, but I've made little mistakes in that, thinking I shouldn't be here, but I think we got to start looking at it as like I deserve to be here at the moment. Like, I've been working really hard. During the week on the car, and I've been watching footage during the week, making sure I know who I'm racing, who does what, and who I'm around, and just it's little things like that I think are really important if you're trying to get better and make headway in your career.
When you say you're watching footage and other drivers, even, are you more seeing like how they race each other, or how you should race them? Like, some guys are going to be, he's going to put that on my nose, or this guy probably going to give me room. Like, is that what you look at?
Yeah, like, especially like during the night, if I get a chance, like I'm watching, Ian or Michael, see it where they're running, what they're doing, what they do differently, because they're really good at the moment, and that's for a reason. Like, especially with I'd say Michael Stewart at the moment, like everywhere he goes, he's fast. And when we went down to Canberra, and he blew everyone away. Like, he's just so committed to what he does, and he's so good at what he does. And every time I get a chance, I'll watch him, and I'll see what he does different. And especially like when you get to lap traffic, he doesn't make many mistakes. And when you want to run up the front, you can't make many mistakes, or it just bites you in the bum, and you just have to go backwards.
Yeah, I was going to say on the weekend, mate, like you drove really hard, and there was a moment in 1 and 2 where, you'd got Michael the corner before, and he didn't give you much room. I think he was expecting you to lift maybe, and you're like, well, I ain't lifting, bro. I'm going back around you. And I don't think you got another sniff on you. Like, that just shows your car speed. And do you feel like you've started to learn? And I've always said, like, I couldn't imagine like learning your limit, how hard you can push. Does it feel like sometimes you might be like, if it wasn't you're pushing a bit hard the other night, you could have backed off, or I don't know, like from your point of view, what do you feel in that race car?
Yeah, well, I knew if I got close to Michael and the front boys, I didn't want to show my nose and let them know that I was there, and I think it was I got a good run down the back straight, and I got a run on Michael, and I was like, I've got to go now, and then we ran down the front straight together, and he did put it underneath me, and I was just like, I'm hanging tough, or I'm probably ending up in the fence here, but it did work out eventually, but I think that's what I need to learn to be a bit better. Like, to be honest, I thought Michael would have been right up my backside, pushing me the whole way along. I was catching Semi for a second, but I just overshot the corner a little bit, and just got in that hole wrong, and got a little bit tight. And when you're moving that quick and you're that close to the wall, it's all it takes, and it's game over.
I tell you what, but that bit of clay that you hit on Saturday night, I looked at it afterwards, and it was literally like a ramp up into the fence. So it's it's crazy.
There's
Crazy that
definitely
you got
something.
out
I think
unscathed.
it's definitely something that with these, sometimes there are man-made cushions on these walls, which it does help the drivers from banging it and wrecking cars. But when they
Yeah,
develop over a fast night like that, like you said, it's a
yeah,
skateboard ramp and it's not good.
yeah.
So
No, well, they were changing a lot because before that last yellow, that it wasn't. It was there, but it wasn't as big as what it was because the lap before, I was watching the Clay per view, and I did get it the lap before, but I got lucky, and then the next lap I got it again, but I got it proper, and it was just that little bit, that little 1% that I missed and missed my
yeah,
mark by a little bit, and that was it.
bro, it was honestly like, I think someone, even my mate at work, was like, oh, and I'm like, it's my video, mate. Like, what are you talking about? I posted it. I said, it's not mine, but he's like, oh shit, that is yours. And I'm like, but I watched it a few times, and I'm like, that's a video game. Like
Yeah,
it literally was like a Hot Wheels track, and your Herbie fully loaded into that fence, like four wheels, like.
mm.
We'll just finish on the wreck, right? And then I want to ask you a few other things about your season. But like, okay, this is an important one. I know this like political. And that did your helmet go off?
No, the thing on the back of my helmet didn't go off. No,
What?
Right.
yeah,
I don't know what that says for that thing then. What do you
yeah.
think on that? Like, did you honestly, did you have a bit of a sore head?
Um, I wouldn't say. Oh, I definitely was conscious. Like I didn't go
Yeah.
unconscious at all during the whole thing. I don't know about those things. Like, yeah, I see what they're trying to do and with it and all that, but I just to like me personally, I'm not involved in any of that sort of stuff. Like, I'll do whatever I have
Us
to do to go
either. We're the
racing.
same, but I'm just
Yeah,
saying, like, it's a
yeah,
question, like for example,
yeah.
we
No,
followed
hundred
Zoe
percent.
Pierce that night. She had a big wreck. Speed cars don't have them on. Because I was like, oh, you
Yeah,
guys don't
okay.
run them? She's like, we don't have to.
Yeah,
And
okay.
I'm
No,
like,
I
so
see.
why does one thing, like, we're all the same
Yeah,
division, dirt racing. So it's a bit
yeah,
silly, I think.
yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
If you got to have that thing on like to go racing, I'm gonna put it on. But
Oh, for
I see
sure.
what they're trying to do, but yeah, at the same time, it doesn't make sense.
Oh, it is good. Like, we're trying, like, everyone should be looked after. And,
Yeah,
everyone, the competitive side, if you do have a bit of a headache, you're going to be like, no, I'm
yeah.
good, mate. You're like, oh, yeah, she's hurt a bit. But, a bit shaken. But it's just, we're all competitive. I
Mm.
mean, I did it in footy too many times. I'm not going to lie. You see the old fuzzy green and, you're right, mate? Yeah, mate. Yeah. Yeah, like that, and then feel it tomorrow. Where you go, yeah, I was pretty rock
Yeah,
there, eh? Should have probably come off, but um, I want to show you some stats. I'd mentioned this before. It's a bit of a shame that, but all motorsports do it. Motorsports, when the driver's okay, they show their wrecks and all that stuff because it is publicity at the end of the day.
mm.
I'm not a like I mean I don't look out for it, but when I seen this guy, like I seen a person posted on my thing, I'm like, you know what, looks okay. I might as well. Like people are asking, was it that bad or to get declared? And I'm like, well, we're media and we're documenting the sport. Let's
Mm.
I didn't intend on it like think it was going to get views. I'm like, well, it's pretty gnarly. I'm just going to post it to show like this
Yeah,
crazy how good the gear is. So on Instagram, it is right now at 9,000 likes, 3.8 thousand shares. It has been viewed over 1.039 million. The watch time on Instagram is 18 days, 10 hours, 28 minutes, and 33 seconds. Right, that's just Instagram. Wait till you hear Facebook's one. That one today, I could not believe what I read. So Facebook is 1.6 mil, so 1.688582 million, right? The watch time is 21 weeks, 3 days, 22 hours, 53 minutes and 12 seconds. That was at 6:30 today. I'm sure if I clicked on it again, but 21 weeks. Like that
yeah,
is just, and I even seen people write in the comments like, this is why promoters don't want you filming it at the races. But like, what do you mean by that? Like, I wish all the
yeah.
fans filmed it. Obviously, if you were hurt, there's no way I'm posting that. I don't even care if
Mm.
you survived and then you were like, oh, I'm okay. But if you were hurt at that moment, that shit ain't getting posted. Like, that's just
Yeah.
facts, And like, yeah, man, it's just when it happened, like I said, I didn't see it. So when I seen it in
Yeah.
the fans, I'm like, yeah, that sucks, And then
Mm.
watching that, I was literally sitting on my front step because my fiance was asleep and I forgot to take keys. So I'm like sitting on my front step looking at comments, and then I was clicking on, oh, no way, someone got it, and I'm like, holy fuck. That is fucked. And I showed my missus and she's like, oh my God, that is so bad. Is it okay? And I'm like, I think so.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, all right. So it's great you're okay. Let's move on
Yeah.
about your season, bro. Like when you said this year, like, you got those thirds and podiums, but when do you feel like it just clicked a bit more this year? Because honestly, mate, you looked awesome the back end of this season. Did it sort of light you guys up, like you said, like we should be taking it a bit more serious, or backing yourself on racing these really good guys have got the good speeds? Does
Yeah.
this like change your maybe program heading into next season? Like if we start well, we're going to travel a bit, or how's that work?
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure. So I had another decent wreck it was during the Christmas period at
Mm-hmm.
Eastern Creek. I had a steering box nip up on me coming out of two,
Yep.
and I went straight in the fence. Then and that was my last Maxim I had. And then I had a few new Triple X's at home that did have ready to go. And as soon as I jumped into a Triple X, I just straight away were just so much better, leaps and bounds better. And then we had two Triple X's. We hurt one. I think it was the second night we used it. We hurt another chassis, so I then went to the one that I raced on the weekend, my last
Yep.
one, and so yeah, we put that thing together for the classic week and that, and it was so much better. Like we put it in the show for our prelim night on the classic, and I was like, that was my first ever A main I made in Victoria.
That's awesome.
And I was like,
yeah,
I was pumped just to be in, like, it wasn't the main night, it wasn't night 3, but just to be in the feature on my first night of the classic, I was pumped. And I think that's really what got me ticking. Like that 4 wide, I still remember it. It was like the crowd and all the lights, and I was like, I was thinking like, wow, this is pretty much it. And
this is pretty much it.
Yeah,
I'll just pull in now. I'm okay.
Yeah, this is what it feels like. I was like, yeah, right. And then after that, it was actually that feature race. I've done a fair few features, but after that feature race, we went green to Checker, and after the race, I was blowing. Like I couldn't breathe. I was like, I've done 30 laps at Eastern Creek, and it like Warrnambool 30
wasn't
laps.
Warrnambool.
Like,
yeah, different.
Yeah, it wasn't Warrnambool. It was just a different beast. And I think we got back home. I just started working really hard, like in the gym and going on runs and just trying to get fit. And
that's sick, man.
Yeah, just working real hard, like real late. If I had work all day, I'd go home and still just, even if it was an hour, I'd go down the back and just tinker on the car a little bit just to make sure it was right. And it's been really good. I've had Gavin Norman helping me a lot this year. Especially with Dad being so busy with our work. We can't always spend hours down in the shed. So to have Gav there helping me down the back's made a real big difference. Like I haven't had too many things go wrong this season. Like, yeah, I had a little stint where those front wings kept falling down and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that wasn't like because they were loose or anything. It was just, I think the brand of strap we're using, they just kept collapsing. But other than that, like, I haven't had anything fall off the car like I've had in the past or anything like that. And, we've just been, like, as a team, just gelling together. And we really haven't changed much, like, to the car, like, during the night. Like, we might make a little, like, once you get him in that window that you don't have to, change so much. And I'm just feeling comfortable in the car at the moment, which is the best thing. And, yeah, it's just been good to run up with the front boys, because I know if I can run with them, I'll be able to learn off them so much quicker, and I can stay with them. So it's been good.
Yeah, that's sick. Binny, well, I'll touch on this, mate. It seems the running theme of this season is as soon as someone goes, oh, we changed to a Triple X and things changed. Is that, and I swear to God, all we've done this year is travel, and they've been like, yeah, put this thing on the scales. It was the same as the other one, and we just went boom. Thoughts on that, Binny? Like, it literally just sounds like the same. The drivers are saying the exact same thing if they've changed.
Yeah, exactly. We were talking to someone on the weekend about that, and they said the
Yep.
exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's crazy how much that makes a difference. But I guess if they're able to put it on the scales and it's the exact
Mm.
same, you're able to do the same thing and know that you're going to get that speed out of it. So
Mm-hmm. Well, you talk to some drivers are adamant, like some chassis are no good. Like, you can get a great one or a dud one, or other drivers say, well, no, you just got to work it out. You just got to spend the 5 days. It might flex different, but a lot of drivers are saying the triple X's are like, nah, put the thing together. You can have two ready to go and you set it up similar. So, you said
Mm.
you've gone through two triple X's this year. Like, we've changed it. Was that a similar situation for you? Like, pretty simple.
Yeah, we got two, and they were the exact same cars, and
Yep.
I had one built after I destroyed that Maxim, and I jumped straight in that, and we were a lot better. And then we wrecked it at Eastern Creek, and it didn't do anything except for the down tubes. It just BJ was rolling, and he landed straight on the down tubes, and it
Yep.
didn't. It's the only thing it ruined was the chassis and the air filter and the stacks.
Yeah.
That's all
Right.
it ruined. It didn't
Mm-hmm.
ruin no front end, nothing like that. So it was legitimately like a day. Like, we just stripped it and put it on the next one, and
Yeah.
and like, they handled the same to me. Like, we set them up the same, and
Mm.
it was the same out of the box. So we might have just got lucky, because I have heard stories that I've destroyed one and jumped in the other, and it's a completely different car and
Yeah,
whatnot. But
that's what you hear
mm,
with a lot of the other chassis, and just people, they can be like, "Yeah, we just got a brand new car for the season, and we just can't work it out." But
yeah,
sounds like a lot of the Triple X people are like, "No, it's good, ready to go."
I guess it happens. I've heard multiple stories, guys saying that sort of stuff, and I guess it can be true if they're built on different jigs or stuff like that, or
Yep.
would come in different batches and stuff. So yeah.
Mm. Yeah, it's awesome. Now I feel like this year, like we've said, a bit of damage. You always just have a car that's like, yeah, we'll just put that plain black wing on. We don't give a shit, and it's like we're not here to put a stickers on the car. But is that something of your mentality too? You're just like, no, we just want to get laps. We don't give a shit what we look like now, and we just want to move forward.
Mm. Yeah, well, we got the car redone. Well, it used to be blue, and then we went that new look, and
It was sick. I liked it. I digged it. The red,
yeah,
black. It
yeah,
was cool, bro.
yeah,
yeah. We got a lot of compliments about the car, and then I only got two top wings done that color, and for the last night, and then I ruined my last top wing in my bonnet at Nara in
Nara,
that crash
yeah,
in the dash, and then I think my parents were in Europe, and we were supposed to race Eastern Creek the other week, and I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna put a black bonnet on from Uncle Dean, and
yeah,
just whatever wing I can find down the back,
yeah.
because I don't have many wings left after this season. Yeah, I don't care what it looks like. I rocked up on the weekend with an open trailer. I don't really care, as long as I get to go race and turn some laps. And yeah, it didn't have to look good to go fast. So yeah, I didn't really care, as long as I was there doing laps and learning.
I think it's cool. It's like Batman. It's like this car just comes out of nowhere and it's just plain black. You're like, that thing is moving. Who is that? Like, you know what I mean? I think people would get along with that. Like, it's like this
Mm,
year with Alex Addard and just the silver wing, white body. People are like, that's
yeah.
sick. And it's like, well, it's like less is more in a way. So yeah.
Mm,
Okay, like let's get into how'd you get into racing, bro? Well, obviously the family's been in Parramatta, and the Thomas name has been around Sydney for a long
yeah.
time. But what about you? Was it go karts, motorbikes? Like, what was that?
So yeah, I've always been around Speedway. Dad always racing sprint cars, and the first thing I did was we built like a little rally kart thing. I don't even know what it was called, but we used to back onto like a reserve out the back of our house, and I used to drive it around there, and then a little bit of like motorbikes when I was like 4 years old, or
Yeah.
PW50 and whatever. And then when I turned, it would have been 6 or 7, I jumped in a tar kart,
Hmm.
and that's what I did until all the way to I was 16. I raced go-karts on the tar for all those years. With Troy and Lorraine Farley for a bit there, and then I moved up to Tyler Greenbury Racing in Queensland. I did 2 or 3 years with him, and yeah, then I just went straight from go-karting and straight into the 410. Yeah.
Mm. That's a lot of the guys do the tar carts or the dirt carts, and what do you think you gained out of the tar side of racing?
I'd say throttle control if I would say anything. Like
Mm-hmm.
tar kart, you had to have good throttle control in a go kart, and I feel like it's very similar in a sprint car. If you don't have good throttle control, you're just spinning the tires, and I feel like that's what like people like Michael Stewart and that are so far ahead of people at the moment because his throttle control is next level. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and you just it's throttle control really, and like driving a tar kart in the wet, it's all throttle control. It's sort of driving like a sprint car in the slick. If you're
Yeah.
flat
Okay.
to the floor, you're not going forward. You're just sitting there. You need your mind says put your foot to the floor. You need to go faster, but realistically, you need to be smarter and use your feet. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, that's makes a lot of sense. I've never heard someone say that. Hey, Binny, like the wet. And it's like, well, that's where I sort of learn a bit of throttle. And then as soon as you
mm,
get on that black slick shit, it's like, well, yeah,
mm,
less is more, you know.
Yeah.
Binny, we've been at Sydney all year. You know, we'll ask Luke this. Like, you've been a complete Sydney team nearly this year, right? You've been through
yeah,
every ups and the downs, and obviously
yeah.
the tyre wear, the not. Like, from your point of view, how's that been? Like, there was a few periods, I'm sure, where you're like, what are we going to get tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it was tough. I feel like the track did try their best, and they sometimes people think they didn't listen, and then we go back there the next week, and it might be all right, and then the week after, it was a bit up and down. Um, I'm just glad that they have really tried to make a change because I do feel like if we did head down that road where we were burning teams were burning, 6 to 8 tires a night, like we wouldn't have many cars in the pits. It is getting expensive with things like that. But yeah, I like on the weekend I didn't burn one tire out. Like it was good to see, and I I don't expect to go to a racetrack and not burn any tires out. That's not what I'm saying, but
Mm.
you got to find an in between where you can actually it's affordable and because if we were burning 8 tires out, there would be maybe a few teams that could afford to do that, and
Mm.
it's not really good for the crowd or for us as a speedway community.
Mm. It's so hard. Like, Benny, we've been on the infield, like for that
Yeah.
side. So like from like your point of view, Benny, the other night, like we're race fans at the end of the day. Like it was a pretty good night, eh? Like there
Yeah, it
wasn't
was.
much to fault on.
Yeah, you can feel the difference in the nights as well. Like earlier in the
Mm.
season, and we've experienced it when we went to Bunbury that first night over after high limits. You can feel the morale around the pits just go down the drain when things are tough. And I think the like Sydney in particular over the last probably well, the back end of the season has come leaps and bounds to what they were at the
Yeah,
start
for
of the
sure.
season. And I hope that a lot of drivers that want to come to Sydney are seeing that and seeing how good the track can be. Because I think come next season, I think Sydney can be getting some big numbers and have good car counts where it's going to be quite a competitive night and um, give a lot of people their chance to sort of show what they can do. And I think Luke will give them a run for their money when it comes to those sort of races and hopefully, yeah, get a few wins next season.
From that point of view, like Luke, how good the track was the other night. Like you believe that if it was a double car count, it still would have handled it pretty good.
Yeah, I feel like it was, especially through the turns, especially like 3 and 4, it was juicy and like you had to really drive the thing through the turn if you wanted to be quick. And it was still slick down the straight, and the track just had so much character, and it has had that sort of character for the last few weeks and a few meetings there. And I feel like it's good. Like it's a bit of a change. Like not many people, are used to tracks like that, and I'd much rather a track like that than dry slick and you're burning tires off the thing. Like on the weekend, it was so racy. Like you could run the bottom, you could run through the middle if you could get through the holes all right. You could run up top. There was 4 lanes you could choose from. Um, yeah, I just felt like it was. I like tracks like that where you really have to, man up and have a good go. And yeah,
Would you say like if you said you pushed really hard on your fitness routine, right? Do you say like since that Warrnambool, weekend, and it's been like nearly 3-4 months now, you feel like it's definitely started to come together? Like laps, obviously, seat time is the best fitness you can get, but hasn't made that bit of a difference.
yeah, I feel like it. I definitely has. Like I said, I've been, I have started to run a lot. Just to get like as we're before like the last 5 laps or 10 laps in the feature, like you might start to get a bit of brain fade as such. But it's also a lot different. Like race fitness and being fit is two different things. Like I feel like now that I've ran a fair few feature races, like I can last a feature race and I could stop and go again straight after. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just feel like that's such a big thing. Like if you want to do something properly, like you got to give it your all. And I just feel like if I'm in the right head space and physically ready for the challenge, I'll give myself a better chance to go well. And yeah, if that's what it takes, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, like, when you say brain fade, is it purely like your concentration, or like your process of decisions passing people? Do you feel like in the past, like when you're tired, you're like, oh yeah, I just let that guy go. I'm fucking tired. Like stuff like that. I don't know. What's that like?
Yeah, well, I think something that made a big change for me was changing my race seat.
Okay.
When I first started, I had my dad's seat in it, and like up top, like I could move my head so much.
Mm.
And like especially at places like Warrnambool, like halfway through a heat race, my neck was like falling off my head. Like I could struggle to keep my neck up. And if you're doing things like that, you're not going to be 100% concentrated, and
Yeah.
you're not going to hit your marks every lap. And all it takes is for you to miss your mark by half a second, and you're in the fence there. So yeah.
Yes, as we seen on the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. But honestly, bro, it's so good that you work hard, and I really it just
Mm.
it boosts the sport in a way. Like we hear things where some crashes that aren't that bad hurt drivers. Like
Yeah.
if you land just wrong on your tail and it goes through your back, and you're like, yeah, it wasn't even that bad, but yeah, fractured my T, my thoracic spine and stuff like that. But yeah, it's gnarly, man. But I got a question for you still. Now, I always ask drivers this: what? Now, it might not have been like a race you're going to win, but I think I might even know the answer here. What race is still to this day? It could be your tar, carts, anything that still got away from you that you're like, I should have won that, or
Um,
I should have got a podium in a big show or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Probably if it was going to say to win, I'm going to say probably a few weeks ago at Nara.
I was about to say now. Yeah, you look good
Um,
after Michael like dropped off because of the car. I'm like, oh yeah,
yeah,
Luke's got this one in the bag. Like he's flying.
yeah, I felt good, and I watched back the replay, and I saw Michael pulled off, and then Kobe was leading. I was second, and there was a big gap to third, and then Kobe made a mistake trying to pass a lap car and spun,
Mm.
and that's what gave me the lead. And I would just wish if he had kept it going, I might have been able to hang on, but
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
nah, but if I wasn't good enough. I was pretty quick, but Lockie was obviously the better car on the end of the race, and yeah, hopefully one day soon I can get one because it's really starting to do my head in. But I'm not going to give up until at least I get a few off the list.
Would you say it's doing your head in now because you've found this pace and things are clicking, and like you said, mate, you passed and drove the guy who's won the most features at Sydney, and not
Mm,
by luck, or he has been that good this year. And you
mm,
guys had that pace, and I would say like you sometimes it's like you were moving that on the weekend, and I'm like, that seems like a little bit, not saying out of control, but I'm like, that thing looks like it's off tits. It's flying.
mm,
Like, that must be fun to drive. It looks that fast. Like, like you're just
mm.
going in, you can stick it and go. Like, and
Yeah.
is that confidence when you get in a car like that, where you're like, yeah, I'm elbows up here. Like, I can handle this.
Yeah, like it's not doing my head in that I haven't run a feature race, but like I can just like we're getting closer, and I can feel it in reach, and I just want to be able to say I've won one, but I don't mind if it takes me another 2 or 3 years down the track. I'm just excited to do a wing dance, to be honest. But no, we have been good. Like I knew I knew like it's such a good feeling, like being in the car and like, oh, I'm catching Michael Stewart, I'm catching Ian Madsen or Sam Walsh. Like,
Yeah.
you get that feeling, and it makes you want to dig deeper and go harder. And sometimes it bites you like it did on the weekend when I was catching Semi. But no, it's good feeling. And yeah, like I said before, I just feel like now that I've been running up the front the last few meetings here, I just we like we've earned to be there. It's not like a out of a luck situation that we're up the front. Like we have done the hard yards, and we have done our R&D, and we are fast at the moment. So yeah, as long as hopefully it can roll on early next season. Yeah.
Would you say that the two format heat later in the year at Sydney has like sort of helped as well? Just more laps, like rather than
Mm,
qualifying, and then you got one chance to have a good night.
uh, in some aspects, like I feel like in the two heat format, you might have to have a little bit more luck go your way, like with
Mm.
other cars starting around you. Like, I have seemed to struggle with qualifying this year. I haven't qualified too well. The only one time I qualified half decent was probably my classic night, and yeah, that's probably one thing next year that I'm gonna try and work really hard on, is
Mm.
getting a good lap in qualifying, because it does set your night up so much better and makes your night, so much smoother if you can qualify well. But no, I don't mind the two. Like I don't mind whatever I have to do if I have to do 2 laps of qualifying or two heat race. It's more laps. You get to race more people. Um, yeah, it's just you might need that little bit more luck if you start at the back of one, and you might get caught in someone else's misfortune or something like that.
Mm. Binny, qualifying or heats? What do you like? Do you like the 2 rounds, or do you
Um,
like the quali?
Look, as I don't know. I used to be like qualifying and all that. But after seeing the last couple of races at Sydney and the two heat format, I really like the two heat format. It sort of mixes it up and gives some of the guys that are sort of down the back a bit more of a chance to sort of stay out in front in the second heat or the first heat, whichever one they get sort of put at the front at. Um, but yeah, and I think it's better for the fans
Mm.
to
Mm,
have two heats because they're not sitting there for 40 minutes to an hour watching cars run around and do 2 laps. Um, yeah, I used to be a qualifying guy. I think I've switched over to a two heat guy now.
Mm. Well, I
Definitely
would
prefer it.
say I would say it like does help. Guy like Luke who's really come leaps and bounds this year. But it's a format similar to the Classic and Title. Yeah, there's no qualifying, but you got to be in the car, heat race, get out, get ready, get back
mm,
in. Like, and it goes from, it's an extra 10 laps every night that you're actually
yeah.
racing and getting under your belt. And like you said, you can get lucky, but it's really the most important one is that heat wear at the back. You got to get forward, and you might be
Yeah.
around guys that aren't as equipped or a little bit slower, but that still doesn't mean they're easy to pass. You got to pick your
Mm.
points, and you can search a little bit. Would you say, Luke, you got to search a bit more in that heat race and really go, I can run the bottom but can't run the top. We got to change something.
Yeah, that's right. Especially in that heat race, if you start up the front, you if you get out in front at Eastern Creek and can get a bit of a clean air, you might be all right. But if if you start at the back, like you got to get moving because you only got 10 laps to do something. So, but also you got to be careful. Like you got to pick your marks and not jump the gun. Like the race isn't won on the first lap, but you got to have a good go when you start at the back. Yeah.
Is there one track that, if you start to travel, you really want to have a go at that you haven't been to yet in the car?
Um, I love watching videos from Perth. I really would like to try and make my way over there and have a go there. I'd say probably my favourite track is that I've raced on is probably Warrnambool. I love that place, especially when it's up around the fence. There's probably no better feeling than getting it right there. Toowoomba is really good as well. I did like Toowoomba. I did struggle there the other week at the Red Hot Summer thing.
Yep.
Just didn't. We just showed up and we just weren't good out of the box, and just set the tone for the weekend. But I would really like to get back up there a fair bit next year, and especially down south. I feel like down south, like that's where it's at the moment in Speedway in Australia. Like there's so many good cars down there. You don't rock up and like as a Sydney guy, like you don't go down there and I'm gonna. Like, you really need to work hard just to make the show down there because there is 15, 20 guys that could win down there. And, they race a lot. Like, it's all different tracks. So, and then you got Queensland, like the younger boys like Corbett and Newton, like they're going really well. And yeah.
Would you say that, like, coming in, you said you wanted to travel a bit, like the Aussie titles at like borderline? Are you going to try and get some laps there before that this year, and a bit more maybe Warrnambool if you enjoy it, as much as you can?
Yeah, I'd say we'll probably do a fair bit of traveling next year. As long as the bank account's looking all right with mum and dad. I did like I think it was 2 years ago. We went down and did a fair bit like the speed week down there in Victoria and stuff like that before we went to the classic.
Yeah.
But I really would like to get down there, say like for the Max's race or something before the classic, and if I could get down to borderline before the title, I'd like that because our goal is to run both the classic and the title next year.
Yeah.
Because as a family, we sort of make like that's our family holiday. You know what I mean? We go down there for the 2 weeks, spend the time in Warrnambool with the family and stuff. So it's a real good time for the family as well. So yeah.
And you would say like, I'm sure your family's seeing it, but that extra hard work you're putting in, and that sort of makes the decisions a little bit easier for mum and dad to be like, oh yeah, I guess he's having a red hot track. We might as well push it a little bit. Where if you're not spending time in the shed, not going to the gym, it's like, oh well, where have you been, eh? Oh, you want to go racing, do you? Just So yeah,
that's
mate.
right.
Well, is there any people this season you like to thank? And it's been awesome chatting to you, brother.
It's been good. I'd just like to thank, obviously, Western Sydney Mechanical, mum, dad, AGM Electrical Supplies. They jumped on board at the start of the season. Glenmore Park Plumbing, without them, be here. Prelude Lubricants, Thomas Fiberglass, obviously everyone that helps me, at the track during the week and stuff like Gavin, Starkey, Jack Rogers, Brendan Rawlings has been helping me out the last few weeks as well. Luke Pittman, obviously all my uncles, Uncle Steve, Uncle Dean, Uncle Jeff, a little cousin Jet, just everyone, man. Like without them, I wouldn't be where I am, and hopefully one day I can repay them by getting to that top step and shaking the flag on the top of the wing.
Well, mate, you're heading definitely in the right direction. You're making some head turns, and just most importantly, it's great to hear that you're in good spirits and you got out of the weekend and you're already thinking about what you're going to do next year straight back in that race car. So that's ripper, bro.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, just thanks for having me, guys, and I'm grateful for what you're doing to the sport, and I think it's good.
Thanks, mate. Makes our job a bit easier, or a bit of a pip in our step when we walk around the pits. Let's film some race cars. And like people say to me, what are you doing? What's going on today? Same shit, different circle. Let's go. Like, let's not mess around. So, really appreciate you, mate. And whenever you want to piss off, you just hang up on us. All right, like you just go bip. All right. So,
No.
you're a legend. I really appreciate you coming on, mate. Awesome. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
Too easy.
See
All
you,
right. Thanks,
legend.
guys.
Have a good one.
See you, mate.
You too. See you, mate.
How good was that, Binny? Now we got to fix it like last week, but you know your thoughts from
don't
hearing.
break it.
No, we're good. We got to just fix it up. That's just Code Man not being ready, but as usual, we're on you now, Binny. The floor is yours. Thoughts on what he just, some of the things he said there, bro. Like going to the emergency, and it's just like, oh, yeah, I was in a car accident, or I was in a car crash.
Yeah.
That's pretty gnarly, eh?
Yeah, that is pretty gnarly. Obviously, it's good to hear from him. Obviously, that crash on the weekend and the comments that are blowing up on the post are pretty crazy. A lot of people are sort of commenting and thinking that he wasn't okay, but it's good to see that he was okay, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
Good to hear that, he's obviously keen for next season and to get up there and hopefully get the chance to do a wing dance.
Yeah.
But I'm just thankful that he's obviously okay, and keen to see what he comes out and does next year, because as you said, he has come leaps and bounds from the start of the season, and was really one of those guys that towards the back end of the year has been sort of a podium chance pretty much every night. So hopefully next season's just as kind to him, and he can kick it off with a few podiums at Sydney, and see what he can do the rest of the season.
Yeah, for sure. And I also feel like, bro, Sydney has also become like a Parramatta in the way of like, hey, you got to come race the Sydney guys now. Like, they've done a lot of laps here. And I know it's like, it's Woomba similar. You got, like Talia Pell always goes really well there. She can qualify well and she's near the front. And then you got, McHugh's a freak there. Oldfield's a freak there. Queensland guys like Brent Kratzman always has a ripper go there. Aaron Kelly doesn't have to race a lot, but when he's at Toowoomba, he's a top 10 car.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, man, where, those guys had Archerfield and they were in a similar spot where they had Toowoomba, but Toowoomba didn't get as many shows as they do now, with Archerfield being the top dog. But, it's cool, and it also is the Sydney guys, the wall has increased. I believe they're travelling. Not just running on a cushion. Like the guys at Parramatta, I used to call them superheroes as kids, because running that thing without no wall and just cowboying that thing, jumping back on the track like a ramp and just going and banging the cush, nearly ripping off. Where now it's like you bang the cush, you're in a wide fence. Like, or that thing's getting tore up in a way, like, ripped in half. And but what about, like I said, it's just a shame that it takes a big wreck to get the sport in the limelight. But I even had like Luke was saying, all people like his workmates or his boss messaging him, and like I had people at work like that are like drift car guys and that, and they're like, oh my god, man, like that's is he all right, like is he good? And like
I had one of my mates that doesn't watch motorsport at all send it to me and go, oh, is this what you go to on a Saturday night? And I'm like, yeah, I was actually there that night.
He just said, that's the guy I help. That's his page.
Yeah, that's what I said as well.
Yeah.
But it's like, some people are just like, they see a big thing like that, and that's when it gets the attention. It's
but
ideal,
like I'll say, look, this year we never go. It's hard to say the word clickbait because like I don't like it, but when you say crash, it is. I tried not to write, oh, massive crash, blah, blah, blah. Like, it was legit. I said Sprintcar crash declares race or something. I think that's what I wrote. I wrote in the comment, section, a huge crash, because it was, but, it's, I don't know. We're just documenting, yeah? And, I honestly, when I post something, I don't know that it's going to be good. I try and make something as good as we can, or, mate, a YouTube video that we've made on the weekend, I would say it's one of my favourite videos I've ever made. And purely just maybe because we spent time with Speedcar and Zoe. Plus, I feel like with Lockie and the mics, then we got Michael Stewart a little bit, the fun stuff with the dash draw. It's like it was, like you said, the morale, the pits was just pumping again. And it really makes, me push a little bit harder. Or I mean, you should feel the same too when you're
I
having everyone's pumping and they're ready to get back in, and you don't hear things like, "Oh, look at this tyre, or look at this shit, or me rocks," and you know, you go, because we're not race car drivers, but we hear it and go, "We understand. It must suck. We understand. I'm sorry." Or like, I even apologise sometimes. I don't have to apologise, but I go, "Yeah, I bet, mate. It sucks. Hey, sorry to hear that," and stuff like that. But
I, I think Saturday night it made it a lot easier with the way they did the format. Like it was good seeing them do that earlier format where they started racing at 3 for the other divisions,
agreed.
and
Hey,
then it was
so
just
good. Yeah.
yeah, it ran so good, and I think the teams even really sort of enjoyed that. It was probably a bit of a quick turnaround after sort of their first heat races, but like you didn't hear anyone sort of complaining about not being able to get enough time to do stuff or anything like that. Um, but I feel like the heat races were very smooth as well. Like there wasn't too many cautions in a lot of the heat racing. Um, so in that aspect, it was really good to get it through quickly, and yeah, it was good to have a pretty big crowd in on Saturday night. It's probably the biggest crowd I've seen there since
Opening night.
opening night.
Like back when
Yeah,
other people were running
yeah,
it, like it was just
yeah,
mega. I loved it. You know, normally this year
yeah,
we've seen the back straight a bit empty and you film around, but this was like, I think when I checked when Zoe was okay in the wreck, and then I was talking to Zoe's dad and being like, "Can you help him get him back on the tilt tray straight to truck?" And I'm like, straight to the pit, sorry. And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll tell him, blah blah blah." But then when the tilt tray was going back, I was sort of like, I think I stopped and grabbed my phone and I just started filming the crowd because they were all the way down the back straight, like
yeah,
all the way down
yeah,
to like the pit gate, you know. And I was like,
yeah,
"Holy shit!"
yeah.
Like there, and it's
Well,
like I took a step, had a moment, like took a step back and had a moment and went, "This is awesome."
yeah. Well, I sort of knew it was going to be a pretty good night when I rocked up. I rocked up at like 2:30.
Car park straight away. You're like, "Oh
And
yeah." There's some people here.
the top car park was full, and like the gate was already like had people lining up to get through it. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
for
far out,
sure.
this is going to be a pretty good night crowd wise. And
Yeah,
yeah, I think they got
100%.
treated to some pretty good racing.
Yeah, well, the other thing, right, I did see people go like, "Oh, they should do that all the time." And let's be real, though. You're not going to start a show when it's 40 degrees at 3 o'clock. It's just not going to
Yeah,
happen,
exactly.
right? But as a fan, when you say gates open at 3, well, that was pretty cool. Like, it's
Yeah,
not like you weren't watching anything. Even I think when I first got there, bro, I seen Scotty Bohado and Scotty Jones getting a pizza. So I rocked in and
yeah,
I just had me rice cakes and I just started talking to him and he was like, "It's pretty good, eh?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's packed, bro." Like, or not, it
yeah.
wasn't packed back then, but it was like probably what they would have got on a
It was
normal
busy.
night, I reckon. Like, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, you sort of know their numbers and that. And then,
It was those diehard fans that are there every week that knew that it was going to be a big crowd getting in to
yeah,
get their seats.
100%,
Yeah.
100%, bro. And yeah, I want to go through. There's two comments I just screenshotted on. I think on one of my posts. I shared it to Sprintcar Obsession pages. I shared it to Worldwide Sprintcar page. If there's a lot of pages you can follow, guys, that everyone shares stuff on. There was this one here. Wow, what a night of action, that's for sure. Can't wait for next season to return. And when it does return, please. Oh, yeah, when it does return, please. I'm just reading everything. Thanks for putting on an awesome night of entertainment. I relive my childhood memories all over again. After 45 years, the show still runs the exact same. Love heart. Like
That's
that is
good.
just me read that, I'm ear to ear, like yes, because that night was word to mouth, where there's no way if you're in the stands, you're bagging that night out of like a lot. I mean, maybe you
Yeah.
can say to declare stuff, but whatever, that just happens, unfortunately. And another comment was the track, the crowd, terrific. The racing, all divisions, all night, absolutely awesome. Thanks to each person involved. What are people's thoughts on the afternoon/night meetings? And I just said, yeah, of course, you can't run it in the temperature. But another one, unbelievable racing again last night. If you haven't been to watch, you need to go when the new season starts. Another comment, cracking night of racing. Really enjoyed the night. Hats off to all involved. Track was brilliant. Drinks were cold. And the view from the corporate suites are mint. Looking forward to next season. And that was just a few. There was a lot of great positive things. But yeah, man, it's like we said, we're Sydney guys, bro. Like we have travelled a lot this year, but we've always. I don't think I've missed a Sydney Sprintcar show this year, and that's even if I did want to had stuff on or that. I'm like, no, I'm going. I've taken on a bit of a thing. Like everyone knows Code's a Sydney guy. If he ain't there, like, what's that mean? And I didn't want to give everyone an excuse to be like, oh, Code's not coming. He doesn't like the players. I'm like, no, I'm there, bro. I don't care. I'm there trying to just film and get going. Like, where
even on nights where you say you're not going to film anything, you're there filming.
I can't help it. You know that. Or even when it is a rough night, or we're trying to document it, but it's like you said, the morale's down. Our morale can be down, and we don't feel like we're not. But yeah, man, it just felt like obviously Sydney's the most place we've been this year, filming and stuff like that. But honestly, I had probably one of my best videos I've edited. When I say best, I don't know if people enjoyed it. The views are going pretty good on it as we speak. I think it's most viewed over the last 10 videos we've put up. That's what it said.
Yeah.
And that beats James McFadden mic'd up at Tolma.
Yeah, right.
And I loved that video. I was like, putting that one together, I'm like, this is sick. Even my Australian title one, I'm like, this is epic. This is good. And you never know. But, I enjoyed putting this one together. And also fresh eyes on it, hanging out with Zoe Pearce. It was just different. I feel like, Sprintcar, and then we're like, we've always said all year, speed cars at Sydney have been sick. I feel like not many people have had eyes on it. And, we've been always said we're trying to cover, just focus less, or team nights. But, hey, how many times were we running on the weekend? And I should have filmed that umpire twirl you did. That was magic. The bin chicken, guys, runs like an ostrich. He's got legs on him. Jesus. Those things were, forward as you were going. Forward. I did the old NRL. Yep, turn, move, square. We were moving.
Tell you what. Yeah, I tell you what, my legs were thinking about it Sunday.
I was like, we're getting old, bro. I've seen something, I can't even get up without going, 27, feel like I'm 90. But we legit, and I feel like sometimes, normally we sort of spend the night together doing the same thing, but it was literally, I'd love to show people our messages, remember, and you just write back copy, because I'm like, what do you, I'll meet you down here, you do this, copy, or you be like, are you turning the GoPros on? I'll get them. And I just go, love you, babe. Love you, babe. Or yes, daddy. Or so, I don't know, just weird shit. We just text some weird shit. Or you'll be like, yes, dad. Or I'll be like, thanks, son. Or yes, dad, back. It just gets... I reckon I could make a reel of our text messages on a night, bloom, 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 bloom. And be like, good luck contexting that, guys. But all right, we'll jump into it. Awesome season. Thanks, everyone. I want to give a quick shout-out to JFE Group, Josh and Em, all the Queensland side of things. You guys have helped me out so much with cars or picking me up. You guys sort of kickstarted this big journey this year at Gladstone, and, thanks so much. They will really kickstart this, and, Williams Motorsport, Cow for having us over, helping them out in Perth. What a trip that was, and it's literally won me over for years to come. I'll never miss Perth high limit time. I just had so much fun, and that's a place where rubber down, the morale's still through the roof. It's just buzzing. Yeah. So it's just so. And again, I will say, if everyone does bang on about Perth, it's because if you haven't been there, you don't get it. And I'm not going to make videos all the time saying best speedway in the world, because I just let the cars and racing talk for it. Which is us posting videos or doing cool interviews with drivers, and I want to really document a lot more stuff where it's like, hey, we're just posting a fact here, bro, or not be shy of asking some questions and just being like, what are your thoughts? Don't worry about us as media thoughts, get it from the guy who's out there turning laps or running a track. That's where it's honest. And if you're a guy on the keyboard having a slap, well, good on you. But it's they're running the show, bro, or they are the show. Like, let them tell you how it really is, and if they want to bag it, okay, that's on them. But like, I just want to, and we're the same page. We just want to try keep pushing and just say, this is the best, and try put spins on it. I feel I want to spend more nights with different drivers, learn it. Like I tell you right now, spending the time we have with the Corns, and they're just a great family, great team. But I tell you what, Bruce Linigan could have his own YouTube channel. That Wildcat, he's just funny, man. Like, could you imagine?
He's pretty annoyed about the donuts.
Oh yeah, I pumped a few of them, didn't I? Beat the older over and under.
Bruce, it was all him.
Yeah, he said, "Who ate all the donuts?" Anyway, all right, real quick, let's touch the American results. Then we're going to bring someone else on the pod. So give us a sec. I have Mins. So real quick, I'm going to jump straight into the Outlaws, Binny. I watched a lot of it over the weekend, and big thing happened in the Outlaws, and I would say it pretty much has ended the Outlaws for me.
Okay.
And when I say ended, it meaning just the points championship. They're racing at Williams Grove. TJ starts, spins out, shots just misses him. Carson Macedo and Logan Schuhart get together. They crash. They go to the work area. Do not come out. David Gravel was behind them. Then he advanced to about, I think, third or second, whatever. So it was like, he just went like this. Wiped his hands with it. And now he has a 134-point lead on Logan Schuhart. Carson Macedo has dropped to fourth behind Buddy Kofoid now.
Wow.
So I don't think David Gravel has to do much but finish races now. I think they said something about it's his 10th top 5 in a row or something it was some dumb stat where he's just up there again. Doesn't matter if he's not winning, but he's around the top 5 mark. Williams Grove was, they got cancelled the first night, rained out. Second night was cool, but the posse had a red hot crack. Like Macquarie got the job done. Where'd Macquarie won it? Macquarie won at Williams Grove, yes, and Buddy Kofoid won earlier in the week at Lincoln.
Yeah.
So it was 1-1 in the piece of the Outlaws at the posse. Denny Dietrich drove well, got to third. So it was posse 1 and 3, Outlaws. Gravel was second, I believe. And then the high limit side of things, Rico's going back to back there, but a bit of controversy in one of the races. Kerry Madsen actually was ripper, had the race lead, and he gave Rico a bit of the door, and they sort of banged wheels right rear to left rear, and Rico looked like he was flipping, but he saved it. And again, similar thing to Williams Grove. Kerry Madsen flips, Brad Sweet hits him, Larson hits him. They're out. Yeah. All work area, and then it was like, and even Rico Rico's really pushing his socials now. It's awesome to see as well. He was pretty gutty. He goes, it's pretty crazy. It sucks. I won, but I feel shit. And, it's really cool. And it's not like he's going, oh, bad luck, he's like, well, that's not how I want to win or, but it was a racing incident. Rico seen the door, shot it, and then it all happened at once, I think. But yeah, and then Corey Day back in the 14 got the job done as well the next night out. So he can just get back in that race car and get the job done like Larson, it feels like. Corey Day's always ripper. So, Ryan Newton was at Williams Grove. He did not get out of the C-main, I think. Yeah, it was not a great night for Ryan. But, Williams Grove, you talk to any Aussie who goes there the first time, they're like, that thing's... I know it's not his first time, but it's just laps. It's crazy, bro. We got nothing like that here, so I just really want to go see that for the beer hill, just quietly the beer gang hill. That's what Codeman wants to go to Williams Grove. Where's Codeman? Over there doing a shoey, saying J Maximin, Aussie. I don't know, but So that's the American scene today. Huset's had their season opener, and Caleb Johnson got the job done. He won there. Ryan Timms was there as well. I think he ran from 16th to second, had a haul. So Ryan Timms has been improving in that 10 as well. But yeah, Brad Sweet in the high limit, 49 points lead on Tyler Courtney. Mark's in third, and Rico in fourth, and Wrightsell fifth. So similar thing, looking like a copy paste of last year, Outlaws and high limits. But it's for me, I look at that and go, I did say a few weeks ago I thought Logan had a red hot crack, but 134 points. A lot of shit's got to go wrong for David Gravel to chew that back up. Or Logan Shootout has to win everything. And even if he does, David Gravel just can't finish anywhere near the front. And I doubt that's going to happen. So, yeah. Like I said, a lot of busy racing coming up for the high limit guys and Outlaws over the next 2 months. This is their big, juicy part of the series before they get into month for money. But I feel like high limit are always month for money. That's how much they race for these days with the midweek shows and that. So... But yeah, there's a lot of racing on in socials, guys. Just keep looking up Sprintcars or Instagram, just wherever the tracks and series are posting. There's a lot of good American racing that if you're not looking, you don't see it. But I reckon every Sunday Australia time, you can put your Dirt Vision on or Flow Race, and there's probably 10 shows that you can just tune in on, and that's just wing sprints. I'm not talking late models or Ripper. Another thing I did see a lot of teams in Outlaws are showing up with qualifying wings now, or trying some things like the old Larson. I think Macquarie went decently quick, had the old silver wing out. So I don't know if they think stickers weigh a lot these days or something, but it's one of those things. It's similar when Kyle Larson turned up with those mufflers turned upside down. Or not, it was can we do that? Which I don't think. I think Outlaws have said no, you're not allowed to run them now. Which, I don't know why. Maybe they're just we can't let Kyle Larson be that good anymore. We'll have to restrict him. We don't know what it's doing. But, I did hear the people saying, it gives you more grip. That's another thing. Because the air is that way instead of that way. But, then you hear the other people say, well, then the hot air's not going on the tyre as much. Yeah. Or, who knows? They're scientists. They're bananas. Maybe they just said, hey, let's just do this and just stuff with everyone's brain.
Do you think the old Larson qualifying wing? Do you reckon it'll get to a point that some Aussies will try and give that a go over here?
I don't see why not. But there's got to be reasons why. They're going to ask the question, is it a fatter belly? I know when I talk to some crew chiefs, they go the wing boards are separate, higher or lower. It's a flatter wing. It's got a flat dish, so then the left side board's higher, the right side board's lower. And that's what it looked like on Larson's wing. It was very different, shaped and positioned. It's let's think about it, right? Qualifying, you're in clean air, so you don't have dirty air. So maybe it's you don't need as much wing, or you don't need. The wind's not really affecting your wing as much because you got clean air, or your nose wing, or if it's windy that day, okay, put this wing on because we need more of this. We need this position higher, or we need to catch more of it, or the wind's too bad, we need to lower it. You're an F1 guy. They must do a lot of that stuff with their spoilers, or they're not allowed to.
Yeah. They all push the limits. You've got the case of them trying to do have the wings so that when they're going down a straight or something, it sort of flexes to make it like a little DRS.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're changing all that sort of stuff. But do you think that the tracks over here are I would probably say Perth and Tolma are the only ones that are really, and
wing
maybe
heavy?
Toowoomba
Are
your
wing
tracks
heavy?
your tracks where it's going to make a big difference.
Well, yeah. Well, okay. Then think of the opposite, bro. The smaller tracks, it's run a different wing for them. I know some other teams run different wings. WA, then East Coast, and bigger bellies, smaller bellies. But like we just said, okay, if it's less of a wing track, run a different wing. But then when you get in lap traffic, how does that handle it? And then, it's a lot of experimenting. But I believe this qualifying wing has to do with, all right, well, we got clean air. Maybe we should try this. Or we know the wings getting hit with everything coming at us, not getting changed. Well, it's the same thing with these sawtooth wicked mills. Some guys are running some teams run them only on the front wing. Some guys run them on the back, or vice versa. So there's a lot. Or some people maybe run something that feels good. Let's just run with that. Oh, I did hear like a lot of stuff with the sawtooth stuffers now because it's not grabbing the whole wing, and it also can change the wind for the guys behind you, the air, because it's coming at them not straight over the wicked wheel. Now it's coming in like strips. I've heard that thought too. You know, like that could be someone just telling me that. I don't know, but it's all things where you're saying, you're like, okay, makes a bit of sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, but I would love to see the I think guys are going to have a red hot crack. But you know what? I'd tell you right now, I'd do it. One team should just do it for social media. Get some likes up. Like right now.
Codeman will come film it.
What are you running it? Like, just, bro, there's no reason why you can't publish. You could run the same wing, but just make it silver and run qualifying. People would go, whoa, he's running a qualifying wing. Like, it would go off. And it'd be like, it's the same wing as I run in the heat race. But I'll tell you what.
Matty Dumsney or Brendan Scourgy need to do it, so they've got the 57 on there too.
Yeah, see? You just run it 1 week, I'll run it next week. Who cares? You know, or you know, like that. Or we could go take a photo of a guy, have him sticking it up. Is this his qualifying wing tonight? You know, like, I don't know, but it wouldn't be bad for some likes, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Silver wing tonight for qualifying guys. Yeah, just trying something different. Not going to tell you what it is. It's the same. It's the exact same. Yeah, bro. So that's the sprint car stuff's pretty straightforward. It's late. It's just a bit of deja vu. David Gravel went sweet, and still gonna do the old question again this year. Would have Brad Sweet beat David Gravel? Until one of them stops winning, that question will never be stopped asking. So, but yeah, I wanted to cross over to Supercars. We're gonna get someone else on here, but I'm going to start off with a question to both of you that I did hear today on social media, and it's something definitely we have talked about on the pod or something like that, but now I've got to add him back, so I've got to add him back here. Where is he? Can you add him back? Can I just ring him again? How do we do that?
Yeah, you should be able to.
Because
you should be able to just rejoin.
His name's there. Yeah, I'll tell him to rejoin now. It should be good. So join. He should be ready to go. So we're bringing on Aussie George. If you've played the games and everything with us and PlayStation and all that such, Aussie George has been a guy forever, always been it, but he's a big supercar guy. Here he is, Aussie George. What's happening, Yalla? What's going on?
How are you? What's going on, guys?
Good, man.
I'm
now,
mate.
He's not showing his face today. We're gonna call him. We're gonna call him Binny. What they call him on what was that show? Top Gear. What was his name?
The Stig.
The Stig.
Yeah,
He's
Aussie
the
George
Stig.
may be the Stig of the pod. What about that? He's just Aussie George the Stig. AG the Stig. What about that? That's not too bad.
Sounds good to me.
You
Sounds
like
good
that,
to me.
AG?
Yep.
Yeah, alrighty. Now, AG, you're a huge supercar guy, right? So Binny and I have been talking about this for a few weeks now. I'm not a huge supercar guy. I'm just that guy watching Instagram when I'm editing videos or stuff like that, and I do keep on track. Mainly, I see how Cam Wills is going because he's a sprint car guy. So if I've ever talked to him about sprint cars, I know how he actually went in supercars.
And he's a Mildura guy. He's a Mildura guy too. So, you know.
Yeah, well, Stig, you're not meant to say anything about Mildura. But anyway.
Yeah, sorry, he's a Penrith guy. He's a Penrith guy.
Yeah, Stig, Stig is everywhere. He doesn't have a home. He is everywhere. I did see something today. Now, there was a topic last year that Kyle Larson brought up. Now, he really wanted to run the Adelaide 500.
Yes.
And that also because of the sprint cars as well. It would be huge for us as a sport of sprint cars, but supercars as well. Worldwide eyes. Now, I did see that he was possibly linked to be doing that and be with a Chevy team, not Triple Eight, obviously, but I believe is it Newlon guys? Am I right there?
Yeah,
Look like the old Rowdy Burns sponsor.
Guys.
Yeah, it looks like Rowdy Burns out of Days of Thunder. Thoughts on that, guys? Start with you, Aussie George. What's your thought on that?
It would be great for the sport, honestly, to get that American coverage, just like it did. Like if you look at Larson, you know, high limits with Perth Motorplex, you know how much that got internationally. That's exactly what will happen with supercars, and that's what we need, honestly. Supercars had been down a bit over the last few seasons, but it's definitely this year. It's the hype's back up, and especially with the playoffs as well, going to that more American-based setup with the championship. So having Larson there will definitely be huge for the NASCAR side of things, getting a couple people over, but then also just for the sprint car side of things there, just for Adelaide as an event is probably the best event on the calendar. So
I'll tell you right now, if he goes there, I mean, guys, it was that packed. It's going to be a lock-in. Like, I'm not missing it again. Like, I'll never miss it. There's 2 events. There's probably, I would say 4 events. Maybe 5. But I'll say 4 I will never miss each year. And that is High Limit, Perth Motorplex, Adelaide 500, Australian Title and Classic. I do not care, right? And Red Hot was pretty good. I hope they keep it in April because that just fitted well. Like, it was time off and then I could go again, not in that busy January period. But yeah, Binny, you know, you're a supercar guy as well. Like AG just said, it hasn't had it's pumped up. Like, I remember supercars were pumping more as a kid for me with, you know, Scafie, Lowndes, Ambrose. But then there was a 5-year period where I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, I really hope it does happen. And I hope that Larson can come and give our Aussie boys a run for their money in the category and the Kiwis. Because it has been down the last couple of years, and it's sort of been dominated by 1 or 2 guys. And
Adelaide 500,
it's cool
you mean, or the supercars?
Like supercars has been sort of dominated by the 1 or 2 people.
That's similar to F1 though. It goes through its phases, does it not?
Yeah, it does. I think everything goes through its sort of like 5 to 10 year period where it's sort of the same people winning on and off. But yeah, I hope it keeps happening, and I hope we keep seeing our Aussie supercar guys go over and run NASCAR like once off events and stuff like that. Because from what I've been told is the cars are very similar in the way they like sort of run and handle, which is cool to hear. To hear that they're very similar, because it makes that sort of crossover a lot easier for everyone and gives our guys a chance when they go over there and their guys a chance when they come over here. And I was reading earlier today that it looks like there's big rumours that Scotty McLaughlin, who's running the IndyCar, he's rumoured to be also running a wild card at Adelaide. So, like, it could be a really cool event, and to see those guys running, and hopefully they've got cars that are sort of competitive and they can be up there and put on a good show for all of us. Because as AG said, it's a cool event, Adelaide, and always has been. And I'm keen to see if Kyle Larson can run both the sprint cars and the supercars and do pretty good in both of them. So.
Well, I'm actually scared for the competitors because the bigger the show gets, the more eyes on Kyle Larson, he just gets better and becomes an absolute beast. So he is just like that. I'm sorry. And when he goes good in supercars, I will put my money on it. When he goes good, the Max Verstappen versus Kyle Larson conversation will light up in a heartbeat again.
See, Larson's not the only one. There's been talks of Fernando Alonso, who races for Aston Martin in Formula One. He's always spoken about having a go at co-driving for Bathurst. Kyle Busch as well has said a few things as well about how he's always wanted to have a crack as well. So there is a lot of big name drivers out there that do want to have a go at supercars. It's just hard because we are all the way over here, and we run during the winter, which F1 Europe summer. NASCAR's all through the year as well. So it is hard to tee it up. But the good thing is with supercars, because Adelaide's kind of in that December now, it's so later on in the year, a lot of other series are finished. So
NASCAR is definitely not on. NASCAR is definitely not on. So I think we could even see Kyle Larson maybe hang around for a month.
That'd be interesting.
Adelaide straight through to High Limit. And then no one else would win. No, I'm joking. But
you think about it as well.
I don't know. I mean, we've seen him fly in and fly out crazy at High Limit, so he might do that. But you never know. If something's in right, Pride was already at Adelaide last year. He might even go, give Kyle my spot if they do that same top 30 deal. And then that could be like, Kyle, well then just come a bit earlier to the Plex. Hang out.
Yeah. You think about it though. If NASCAR's over for the year, you've got the likes of Van Gisbergen that will want to drive. You got a whole heap of guys that can sort of run both the sprint cars and the supercars. So it'd be cool to
for
see like
sure,
Cam
bro.
Waters, Van Giers, Larson. Like it'd be a massive event, and it'd be a lot of work for them to the three of them because running in the night time and then being back at the track early the next morning to run the supercars. So
yeah, well, I'm not sure that Cam Waters would because last year it was pretty straightforward. You were not racing while the sprint cars are on, like while we're running. So maybe not for him, but the guys like Van Gisbergen and Larson will be like, "Well, I'm a wild card, bro. I'm going over there too." And they don't link up either. Like one stops, one starts. So
yeah.
See, that is true, but then if you look at it last year, though, like Supercars qualifying was going on while sprint cars were out there doing engine warm-ups. So I think they do need to change it a bit because by the time you finish Supercars qualify, it's not like you just jump out of the car and you leave. You know, you got to do, they go parc fermé, or if you get on the, if you get top 3, you might have to hang around, do press conferences, all that for the Supercars, and then you'll miss out. You'll miss out no matter what. So they've really got to change. If they want to make it work, they've really got to re-look at the schedule and deal with it.
If they want to make that shit work, they keep the Fox Sports rolling, and you follow Kyle Larson and those supercar boys down to Fox Sports for the sprint cars, and you see those numbers will hang the hell around for sprint cars. Like those people at supercars that have never watched sprint cars come up to me when I was just standing there filming with my phone even, and they're like, "What's going on here? This looks cool." Like if you're saying that it's one thing, like do that stuff, but come and talk to them when they're in their pits. Keep it rolling. Talk about supercars, and then say, "Good luck now, mate."
I'd almost say as well is this year it'd be good to have the sprint cars on Fox Sports.
Yeah, bro.
That's what they need.
That's just hard because we know logistics and politics, but like, if you think Fox Sports, right, want all the Kyle Larson clips so you can like that's what they're about. We know that. So if you just say even Fox Sport are just following Cam Waters and Van Gisbergen and Larson, like just follow these three guys. Because at the end of the day, the guys who are ripping in sprint cars are going to be on front because they're going to follow the guys leading. They're going to be like, and this guy's back here, but look at the battle for the lead. Like, and you got that tie with Matt Nolte, Chad Nalon. Like, there's a great link where even the supercar fans are hearing the same voice. So it's like a trust. Oh, we trust this program must be good because those guys sound the same, and we like listening to them weekly. Like, there's just those little things where you're like, oh, the supercar's on. What is this? And it still says Adelaide 500 because it is the Adelaide 500.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. That's. I am keen to see what happens, but I would say if Larson is coming to run a supercar wildcard, I would say we'll hear about it in the next couple of weeks for sure because I would say he'll sneak down here at some stage during his busy schedule to try and fit some sort of test in before then.
You reckon? I don't reckon.
No, he will. There's something like that. They'll make sure they get a test in beforehand.
Well,
see, the only downside
supercars look like around that time. Sorry, George. What's the ASCAR? What's the supercar format or series look like before Adelaide 500 in November? Or is Adelaide the last race now? So when's that?
Yeah, Adelaide's the last race in December, and then you've also got
back a month now. Okay.
Yeah, so because of the playoffs this year, because you got Sandown, Gold Coast, and Adelaide now as playoff series in the finals, it's all shifted a bit. So Sandown, Gold Coast are both in November, and then Adelaide's in December. So it's very
December's going to be so expensive for us.
And hot.
December and January. Oh my God! High limit Adelaide straight to classic title. Oh.
See, there's only one downside though when you look at the supercars when it comes to wildcards compared to NASCAR is every NASCAR team has 4 cars per person. It's insane. Whereas supercars they would have 2 cars in a team, each driver, and they'll have maybe one spare.
Yeah, right.
Maybe. So only some teams too. So that's where it gets hard with a wild card. Is there's only limited teams that will actually have a spare car for a wild card, and not just that, it's expensive to run 3 cars. Don't get me wrong; like it's a whole nother ball game.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't think about it like that. Like with what they're limited in gear but at the end of the day, what's it say? Money talks. Dirty cash, I want you. Dirty cash, I need you all. Hey, they're like, look, mofo, you're not in the playoffs. He's getting your car. You're out.
That would be insane.
But yeah, all right. Binny, you are getting a bit blurry because Aussie George is probably pumping up the old Wi-Fi on this bad bitch. But
Sorry.
It's all right. It's only Binny's face. It's not good all the time.
It looks better blurry anyways.
I did think we won't say about the Stig, but it does relate to him. Binny, you run a ripper mow. You love your mow. I've decided for our channels this November coming, we are pushing a huge November mow. Movember. I want to go
100%.
hard on it. It's for the right reasons. I want to push it that hard. I want, if they want to go, get some sprint car drivers on board. So the month of November, we're like living in the 70s with mullets or something and mows. I don't even know if we do 2 charity things. We do like the men's mullet thing and the mow and be like, this is for charity. Look at this back in the 70s. I want to do something like that this year because, one, it's great for the community and it's just getting around the right things. Where if we have the power of social media, there's great opportunities to use it for that side. This year, I always thought about it too late. And I'm like, oh, I wish I did that. Oh, I wish I did this. But this year, I really want to do it. And I even want people to send ideas through if they have it. Like, I don't even care if it's shave your head. Because honestly, I've done it before. I'm going bald anyway. So maybe Codeman just turns full stone cold. Or Rick Rude, the old mo and no hair. Whatever. And be like, what? But yeah, like, it's just... I really want to do that. Does that sound like something we should, like, cool, Binny?
Yeah.
Rock that shit. AJ, what do you think?
100%.
Yeah, I'll go stone cold with me, Mo.
Wade? Stone
Wait,
cold.
is this
Stone
being
cold.
recorded right now? Is this being recorded right
Yeah,
now?
it's recorded. Yeah. Stone cold, more like Freddie Mercury. Anyway.
Mate, it'll be worse than Freddie Mercury. I'll have no hair. I'm gonna go stone cold. It's just gonna be a glare off the top of my head.
Yeah. Wade.
You need some polish then, mate.
All right, let's get into the Supercar action. And AJ, while you're here, the big talk. Talk to us about the weekend, what it was, and what all went down.
Well, Tassie, awesome track. It's a small little bull ring, only 2.4 kilometres long, I think it is. So under minute lap times. Hey, calm down, buddy. So under minute lap times for qualifying. So it's red hot fast and a little technical track as well. Racing, so Saturday was dominated by Red Bull in the races, but qualifying, Thomas Randall was pole in race 1 and Brock Feeney was, Will Brown. No, Brock Feeney was pole in race 2. Mm-hmm. And so Red Bull was just the team to beat when it comes to the racing itself. They weren't the best at qualifying, but just their race pace is on another level. And Sunday's race was just perfect. I don't know how else to put it. It was one of the best races of the season. Like, it was unreal. What would you say, Binny? Like, what was your take?
Yeah, I definitely agree with Red Bull's definitely been the race car to beat all year. Brock Feeney and Will Brown, I don't know what it is about when it gets to sort of that race time, but they always seem to be able to make the tyres last and get through the race without any problems. And I think with Supercars, that's one of the big things, is if you're in that sort of mid-pack, is making your way back through and getting to the stage where you can be fighting for those podiums and that, and both those guys are always doing it. Sunday, it was the Matty Payne and Red Bull show out in front, and it was probably the most exciting race. It's another exciting race that they've put on this year after that Sydney race where Cam Waters, Will Brown, and that came to the line, and it was one of the closest finishes there, and they did it again on Sunday. Matt Payne and Brock Vinnie. I think it was 0.55 seconds.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So the race in Sydney was the closest finish ever. And then this race in Tassie yesterday was the third closest finish ever in Supercars.
Crazy after like all those laps that they do on the Sunday to be that close right at the end of it all is insane. And full credit to both the boys. They definitely gave each other space and put on a show for the crowd. But I definitely think it's Red Bull's year for the championship again. Brock Feeney or Will Brown will just take it out. Matt Payne has been up there all year, but I just don't think they have the consistency when it comes to those sort of like those sort of big tracks like your Bathurst and your sort of Bend and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure they struggled at those tracks last year.
Full credit to the boys. Hey, Binny, full credit to the boys.
Full credit to the boys, lad.
Yeah, like it's hard though. Like if you look at Penrite, like go back to the last race weekend that was in New Zealand at Taupo or however you say it. That's a pretty lengthy track, and Matt Payne, like Penrite, just dominated all weekend. They were the team to beat, and honestly, Matt Payne, he's not a rookie, but he still is very young. And the way he's the tyre whisperer, there's no other way to put it. The way he held those tyres together and won that race was just exceptional. Like he's got so much young talent. He's definitely someone to watch for the future.
The tyre whisperer, that's hot. I like that. Get me a T-shirt. That's it. Get that right there. Aussie George, you have sold me on the Penrite team. The tyre whisperer. Oh, that's gangster. How good's that?
Did you see the Dick Johnson Racing disqualification, Binny?
Yeah. So that was the skid pans on the front bumper.
Yeah.
That's not ideal.
No, so it was weird though because they got sent to the stewards after qualifying on Saturday, and it got cleared. But then when they went into the race, they got disqualified. So I don't really know how that adds up. Well, that's where I'm a bit confused. I'm like, well, if they went to the stewards for this in qualifying and they got cleared on it, why did they get disqualified in the race? What are they trying to do?
Yeah, with that, AJ, sort of a bit more mechanical stuff than what I do. What does that skid pan? What advantage does it give them by making that smaller or shorter in a way?
I guess. So this is where it confuses me because I see the skid pan as like obviously it'd be height and low, how much air runs under the car for the aero. But what I don't get though is unless they've got that car either lifted as far as they possibly can or lowered as possibly they can, and they've just changed the skid plate measurement, I don't get how it's wrong because if you just want extra air to run under the car, why don't you just raise the ride height? Like that's what I don't understand. Unless it was raised as high as they were allowed to, and then they've done the skid pan and raise that up even more, which I'd say there'd have to be regulation under how high or low the skid pan can sit underneath a certain point of the car, no matter what ride height it's at, which is what I'm guessing.
It's weird though, because like you think about it, Supercars is having this problem. You go over to F1, it's a very similar problem that's happening. Ferrari got disqualified for it.
Yeah, that's right.
I think another guy, like another team, got disqualified from it after that. So it's whether the FIA whether there's something that they've brought in and they think that it does give an advantage that requires a disqualification, but I just don't know how much of an advantage it would actually give a car to warrant a disqualification. As I said, but I'm not no mechanic or no engineer to be able to say what it would do and what it can do.
At the end of the day, it's just teams pushing that fine line of exceeding the rules.
And that's
all it
motorsport,
is.
That's motorsport.
Yeah, exactly
It's
right.
just
Yeah,
what it
100%.
is, bro. So that is motorsport, man.
It's just teams trying to be as greedy as they can.
Thoughts on the Randall incident? Racing pretty hard there, spun around. What do we What are we going on that?
That was down the second last corner.
Yeah, you go first, Binny.
Yeah, look.
Is that Aussie George saying I don't want to say something, and then Binny's opposite? Is that what's happening?
Nah, so like that battle was there was three of them battling at that stage. I just think Randall didn't really like Randall didn't seem as far up as he was, and obviously got tagged. But yeah, I don't know. It's that Tassie track is so tight, and you're sort of pushing the limits every lap anyway. I don't think it was too much, but yeah, what's your thoughts, AJ?
See, I'm gonna.
Here we go.
I think I'm not happy on the fact that I felt like that's inconsistency coming from the race stewards. Anyone that got spun or got bumped off the track this week and got a penalty. Like Chaz did,
Yeah, okay.
one of the Team 18 cars did. Like there was a lot of penalties given out, and to me, I just don't really. What's the fine line? What can you do and what can't you do? Why is there penalties for all this? But when Randall got spun, there was no further action. Like that's just where I just think, look, it's just I think there has to be more consistency. And I honestly, hat off to Supercars this year for letting them race more, for sure. Like there's been a lot more argy barge this year, and they've let it go, which is great. But when you come to a race weekend and you're giving penalties out for knocking people off the track, but you're not giving penalties for that, I just don't see where the consistency is there.
Yeah, I agree. I think, and even the drivers have been saying it all year. The consistency from race control and supercars probably isn't across the board, and we've seen that in a couple of incidents throughout this season. But yeah, I'm loving the fact that they're letting them race on a little bit, and letting them do what they need to do and sort of let those little bumps off, because I think the sport needs it. It sort of makes it a little bit more exciting, and I don't think there's been many occasions where the drivers have sort of taken it to their advantage and like really pushed someone off the track and made them lose a race because of it. It's been fair play a lot of the time, like especially that Sydney Motorsport Park one with Cam Waters and the two Red Bull cars. Cam Waters was just smart about where he parked the car to make sure the other Red Bull car didn't pass him, but was letting the other guy readdress. So it's I think it's good from them, but yeah, the consistency definitely needs to be there.
Is that, can I like butt in? Is that similar to like, let's say, Binny, you know a bit more with the NRL, just one game is so different to the next game? Or let's say, oh, a big moment happens, but it's state of origin and it's all good. Is there just that at the moment in the motorsport side of supercars? Just inconsistency.
Yeah.
They try to do this black and white bullshit where you're like, how about you put some common sense into it? It's clear as day.
Yeah, 100%. It's exactly like that. It's like the high tackles. Like in the regular season, you get a high tackle and it's a sin bin, but then you go to State of Origin and someone will get absolutely clotheslined and it's play on because it's State of Origin. It's just on report.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, it's just that consistency between if you take a guy out and spin him and then it happens in the next race, but you haven't penalised the guy in the first race, it's confusing as a fan. And I bet as a driver, it gets pretty frustrating to have no consistency sort of there.
We can always say the old conspiracy theory. Don't let this one go. There'll be some comments on this call. Well, we're talking about it right now. I don't want to say it's happening, but you never know. And everyone, I'm being one of those guys now, like, oh, maybe it was for this. You never know. But or they were like, if we stop this race now, we're not going to get a good finish because it's going to be too easy with a penalty or this race at the 0.03 would have meant nothing because it was a 10-second penalty or something. You know, like I don't know. So, but where do the supercars go next, guys?
So the supercars off to the Perth Super 400, so over to WA.
Cool.
off to another tight little track over there. I believe it's a night race.
Yeah, they look cool on TV.
Is it?
AG, can you confirm that?
I don't think they did night anymore.
Or
I'm having a
it's
look.
a twilight race. It's like late afternoon, I believe. Just having a look now, but I'm pretty sure it's late afternoon, and they are on the Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah, okay. Because Perth used to be, they used to set up portable lights and all that and do a night race, but they haven't done that for a car. They haven't done that since pre-COVID, I reckon.
Yeah,
So,
I'm pretty sure it's more of a twilight race, so it's late afternoon and it finishes just before it actually gets dark.
yeah. But that's a great track. Perth is great for qualifying. That is a good little qualifying track. And you get good action there, good overtaking. It's a great track, and I'm excited to see. But I think the biggest thing is now the championship after this weekend has completely done a bit of a backflip, like with everyone's standings. It's all over the place now.
Yeah, so you've obviously still got the Red Bull guys up the front of pit lane. Yeah, the Shell V Power boys back to 5th in the garage order.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's unusual to see them down there, especially after the last few seasons they've had, and obviously their success with Scotty and, the time they had with McLaughlin. But, yeah, well, I think it's going to be interesting. I think the Red Bull guys are definitely fighting for the championship against each other. I don't think there's much competition anywhere else at this point in time. I think that everyone else is a little bit inconsistent in here and there, depending on what track they go to.
But I think that's the exciting thing for this year is though, like, because people this stage of championship, people would already be writing it off saying, "No, it's Red Bull." But we got finals this year. We got playoffs.
Yeah, well,
Anyone can win this.
true.
Like that's what kind of excites. So it's really, I feel like still now it's really 50-50 on playoffs. Like a lot of people love the idea. A lot of people absolutely hate the idea. Yeah, I know about you, Binny, but I'm very, very excited for it. And just knowing right now, looking at it, that Triple Eight's clear as. But if they have any issues in those final races, that's it. They're done. They're out.
Look, I'm excited for it until one of my favourite drivers gets stuffed over by the rule, and then I won't like it.
I mean, me guys being a fan that is like very new to following it again, I like it because then if I am a bit lazy on following, I just got to know who I'm watching the next 4 races. Or, like for example, we just spoke about the Outlaws and High Limit. The Outlaws, I would say, I'm going to write it off. David Gravel's won the championship, and we got so long to go. He's like 100 and something points ahead. So if we turn it into the top 3 race it, not even make it top 5, make it top 3, or top 2, then battle it out. But then the history changes, but things evolve and change. It's just like you're saying, like back in the day where. Oh, Steve Kinser won everything and won the series. He wasn't racing many people. But what about, they didn't do as many races. Oh, do they not count? Because he only did 20 less races a year? Or he would have lost it or something? Like, I think everything has to evolve. And I don't mind the playoff rule because it's like NASCAR eyes. People can relate to it straight away. Like, straight away. Like, oh, we do that. Cool. Straight away, without even blinking, or if we start copying Americans' format with sprint cars, you watch it. Oh yeah, that's High Limit, easy.
Yeah,
but that's even like Adelaide's going to be unreal because you're going to have 4 drivers at Adelaide that all can win the championship up to the last day. Like that's just going to be huge for Adelaide because most of the times when we get to this point, like you get to Adelaide, there's already a champion by then.
Well, it was this year, wasn't it? Wasn't it over this year? At Adelaide,
it was over on the Saturday afternoon. Yeah, Will Brown had
before even
secured
Sunday
it. He just
did it,
finish.
Boo.
It's going to be full elbows out. Like that Sunday race at Adelaide is going to be win it or bin it. Like that's what's so exciting about it. It's the last race of the season. No one gives a shit about their cars. It's literally going to go out there and just give it your hardest, and you win this thing.
And just think about it. You throw a couple of wild cards in there that are a couple of big dogs that have won the championship before, like McLaughlin and Vinnies and even Larson. They're not going to care about the championship.
Yeah.
They're going to be wanting to come through just as hard. So, Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Do you
Well, that's
think
what-
then? Do you think, guys, they will change the wild? This could implement. They run the wild card for these races, but then something could happen where a guy's running for the championship gets crashed out by a wild card. Could we then see? Well, there's no more wild cards because we need proper series guys every round.
No way, never.
Nah, Supercars will only give wildcard rides to the guys that they know will, obviously they're going to give it to the guys that they like. It's hard to explain. They're going to make sure that the guys that they're putting in wildcard cars are good enough to be there.
And also, I'm not saying good enough, but shit happens. You know, competitiveness and you're racing hard. But obviously, you'd see like, mate, if you're running for 4th and 3rd, and then you see the colour or the number, and you're like, well, I don't know, maybe do the guys in the playoff have a little thing on their car? I'm not saying people are going to let him pass, but it's like he's got, I don't know, a little strip on the side where that gold strip that means, hey, I'm racing for a championship here, motherfucker, get out of the way.
If you
I don't know, but you're not going to let people go by. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, for example, you look at the NASCAR playoffs. If you're not in that top 4, no one gives a crap that you're in the playoffs. Like, you watch those last few races.
Well, they're racing for their seats, mate. They're racing for their jobs.
Exactly right.
They're not just trying to go, oh, I'm not in the playoffs, bad luck. It's like, no, well, I need to perform. My boss is watching me. I'm on the cutting block after this year, bro.
100%.
Yeah, okay. Very, very true. I didn't think about that. But
I'm hoping that's how it goes, though. Like, that's one thing I'm worried about when it comes to a sport like Supercars, is I'm hoping they don't just somehow make it, Supercars have this weird thing of doing weird shit. Binny can back me up here. They do weird things sometimes. And I could see how drivers in Supercars would be nervous to race the playoff cars for the sake of something happening. I can see it happening.
Yeah, but that can also cause crashes when, you're in your head, you're slowing up for people or making different racing. You're not making a racing decision then. That's like I'm just being nice for them decision.
I'm also excited to
spot or something.
Yeah. I'm also excited to see how teams will use the playoffs. If they've only got one car in the playoffs, how much are they going to use that teammate? How much are they going to use that teammate to help them? That's what I'm excited to see as well. Because you got teams like, say, for example, Tickford. If Cam's in the top 4 and Thomas Randall's not, I can see that playing out huge.
Like what? Yeah. Give me more. I'm a little bit more, like a bit behind on that. What do you mean by that?
Say, for example, Randall Randall's a good qualifier. Say he gets
do you mean
pole
blocking and more stuff like that? Or let Cam go, obviously, but...
Yeah, 100%. Like holding people up to get Cam maybe an advantage or maybe catch up to them either way. Stuff like that. I can see that. Just for example, go back to like 2021 F1 with Sergio Perez with Hamilton at Abu Dhabi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's a team sport, so that only makes sense. And if you're a team, no shit. I mean, it's not dog. It's just, we're here to win a team championship just as much as it's like Cam Waters wins, but if Randall does his job on that day, helping Cam win, he keeps his seat. He keeps in the good books of his team. So
yeah, exactly.
Like they're going to do whatever their team wants them to do at the end of the day. So.
Well, you look back to what year was it, George, that McLaughlin won at Bathurst, and they used Fabian Coulthard to slow the field down. Like it's a team sport. Like
but that was too far. That was way too far. He held the whole. So Scott was in first and Fabian was in third. So he had one car behind him, and Fabian didn't want to double stack behind Scott. So he held up the whole field at Bathurst. He held him up for about 30 seconds. He was sitting at like 30 kilometers an hour going down the straight at Bathurst.
Or like through an S-bend where you're like, no one can pass me. Like that type of
stuff? No, because it was safety car.
It was going down a straight.
And you're not allowed to pass in a safety car. Oh, no. See, but that's He I bet he kept his seat next year.
So 100%. yeah, he did. But he basically put the pit limiter on and banked the whole field up so Scotty could get out and do his pit stop by the time he got there.
There was big trouble for that, though. There was big trouble for that.
There was, but
yeah. But that's too, like, that's same as, okay, rules are there, you've pushed it, but then they go, well, we can't let that happen again.
Yeah.
Where it's the same as that, okay, the big one in NASCAR when old mate just fanged it around the wall wide open and then he made the playoffs. But it was like, you can't do that. It was like, I did it and now you're not allowed to do it. But then Bell did it again and they're like, is that similar? And everyone's like, did you not see he did the same thing? And then it was like, oh, but who are we putting in and like all stuff like that. So, but it's the same thing. Rules aren't if they're not in place, you can use it to the best of your ability and go, but you can't hurt me. But then they can definitely go, this season moving on, you cannot do this because of this guy.
Yeah.
So.
No, I just feel like, and like just with Supercars, like after Tassie having that close finish again, like it's just showing. Like, look, Supercars has been like the last few years, especially with the parity and all that. A lot of people have lost interest in it. And now coming into this year with everything being so close, the close racing, they've opened it up now where you can really bump into each other. Like, it's just great for the sport. And the sport's heading right now, the sport's heading in a really good direction. I'm just hoping they keep it up.
Well, I mean, for me, like, mate, I don't want to watch. I'll give you an example. NRL right now. It's gone through a period of me where I'm like, I can't watch this because of all the rubbish, inconsistencies, and it's not that I don't like the game anymore. It's just how it's being run. And Supercars, I'm sure, like you just said, went through the same period of, 1 minute it's you can't do anything, can't even touch. They might not even. We might as well just run qualifying and see who wins. Where this rubbing and bumping and pushing out of the way, like we all as race fans love rubbings racing, and the guys like racing like that. Don't get me wrong, they love giving it to each other without wrecking each other. They get out, smile, and go, "You ran me hard there. You wait till next time, bro." Like I've got that receipt and stuff like that, and it's just where they unfortunately they're the clips that get people back to the sport. And if Supercars don't do something, when I say that, I know F1 is the biggest thing in the world, but Oscar going so good is getting attention from Australia away from Supercars to F1. Would you not say that? Like people are starting to go, well, I'm just worrying about our Aussie guy in F1 because that's like there's not much going on the F1 side of ruling, I guess, compared to Supercars right now.
See, I disagree.
What do you think? It's similar, do you? Like there's a bit of
I
bullshit
think
over there too.
Because Oscar is so big in the news right now with F1 and all that, it's bringing people not just into F1 but into motorsports in general. Oh, that's how I see it.
Okay. That makes a bit of sense. Like, oh yeah, motorsport, and you look up F1, then Supercars pop on your stream too, or your Facebook, or something like that.
Exactly right. Like if you go to any Australian news website and you search up motorsports, what's going to come up? F1 Supercars straight away. F1 and Supercars.
Yeah.
So I feel like that Oscar actually being there is probably making an impact on
that's a great way of looking at it too, mate.
In Australia as a whole. It doesn't matter what kind of motorsports, from go-karting. Look, I guarantee you go to any of those rental kart places in Melbourne, Sydney, I bet you they are booming right now with young people because they're saying Oscar in the news.
Yeah.
100%.
Great way to look at it, and you're probably right compared to what I said. It's the opposite. Instead of jumping away from it, it's like, oh, we're just talking about racing more because of how good he's going. So
if you go to a Supercars event, you will see a lot. You'd probably see
McLaren shit everywhere.
Yeah, you'll see so much Formula One merch. Formula One merch. Like it's just huge. Like I went to the Grand Prix this year, and you don't realise how big motorsports is in Australia until you go to something like the Grand Prix, and you've got 160,000 people there on a qualifying day, not even race day.
It's just it's an event. No, like if you're somebody, you got to be there. Why? Oh, because social media's everywhere. Who's in the race? I don't know, but there's cameras and photos.
And Coben got on one of those cameras.
The Coben hat, he did.
Yeah.
Good job, AG, on Fox Sports, mate. We've made it on Flow and Fox Sport this year, boys. Let's go.
Hey, and the footy, I had your Coben hat on the footy.
Oh,
they got on Fox Sports.
Fox
Clay
footy.
Per View. We've been on Clay Per View.
It's been everywhere. It's just no Dirt Vision. We've got to get something on Dirt Vision. I've got to maybe send something to Ryan and be like, just walk on the camera in this place.
Yeah, I might just start walking around Melbourne. Might start walking around the CBD, try to photo bomb Channel 7 or something like that for you.
See this shirt? He's an idiot. Woo! Sorry, I don't know. he's a flog, this guy. And then just take the shirt off and step on it or something.
Yeah.
Go, who is this guy? And look it up. There's this dumb head stuffing a donut in his mouth. Oh,
That was
That
great.
video's a good video.
I thought it was pretty good.
It was disturbing, but it was great.
Yeah.
I thought it just showed the potential I have that any obstacles in front of me, I just eat through it. You know what I mean? Like I just eat up the
Well-
opportunity. You like that one? AG.
That's interesting. That's very
It's
interesting.
just a hot take, you know? I eat up opportunities.
Senior Bin Chicken said it's the quietest he's ever heard you when you had your mouth full.
Can you been chicken?
There's really. I'm not going to go.
Oh, coming from you, Vinny. You get louder when something's in your mouth.
Yeah, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there.
All right, on that note, guys, the podcast is over.
Benny's got his second job to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
What is it?
listen,
He's got that Instagram page. Late night again. Let me count on my cash.
What's that? Benny, it's 9:30. Jeez, don't you start work in half an hour?
Yeah.
Yeah, half an hour, mate.
You know the clubs only start at 10. You know,
No,
10.
Benny only has to walk to the corner of his street.
Oh, what does he make lemonade there or something?
He's up.
Money talks. Let me count on my cash tonight. Let me count on my cash I made tonight. You're disgusting, Biddy, honestly.
You still following the footy code?
The AFL, you mean that,
Yeah.
don't you? No, because
Yeah.
Swans suck. We
I agree.
So I know I when I haven't been watching the AFL, I just give a vibe off Binny like Swannies, and he goes, "Yeah, we shit," and I'm like, "Okay, don't need to watch it." But
Maybe it's time
I
to go.
do. How are the Giants going?
I was about to say, now time to go to WS, I reckon.
Well, I
GWS is doing all
I
right.
don't mind the old Giants, so I did a lot of my rehabbing with all my footy injuries with a sports specialist at the Giants headquarters. So
Wow.
it was amazing facility in Homebush.
Money talks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just something like no, it's off topic, but like seeing a
Fix
big
him.
facility like that, it didn't do shit for me. It wasted me time, really. Let's be honest. I'm sitting here about 10, 15 kilos heavier, and I'm in shape as a beach ball. So, but there's like seeing a facility like that where they've got all these tables lined up, and you're like, it's like 20 strapping tables set up, like. For a more because in AFL there was like from what I heard and was told that they mandatory strap all the ankles, like precautionary. You don't like
Depends on the club.
Yeah, like they go like you got no choice, you get the ankle strap today, and they're like benches where it's like a padded big bench with like they're all in a line, like it's not a table bench. So I mean it's like that chair where they can all sit up and get their knees or ankle strapped. And apparently they got all physios just going before training and everything. Like it's incredible. So
sounds like Benny's workplace.
Where he makes all his lemonade.
Yeah.
Yeah. Breaking Bad Benny. He calls him the old ice bath. Don't know what it's for though. Jesus.
All right, on that note, come on, let's wrap things up.
Oh, all right, yes, but AJ, thanks for coming on, brother. It's also
no worries.
Like I said, I'm getting back into my supercars, but it's also good. I like listening to you guys with your knowledge of them. It's like I'm listening to a podcast as well, like and learning and F1 stuff too. But yeah, and I think get AG back on for when the F1 or the supercars are back on. You guys have a really good connection and talk with that, and I'll tune in where I can. And we did forget to mention that Kyle Larson swept Kansas today. So, freak.
Dominated.
It's looking good for that championship, but again, I think he would have won. I reckon he would have won the championship without playoffs, so it'll be interesting anyway. But that's cool. Go Kyle Larson. You keep pushing dirt racing, baby. That's all I'm about. You just keep winning and everything and pushing it, and because everyone goes, that guy come from dirt, mate. He come from dirt. But then I need NASCAR to stop stealing our drivers, such as Korea Day. Give you back. So, doesn't mean they're all going to be good NASCAR drivers, but just get more eyes on the sport, okay? Just use the example of Steve Kinser. Love you, Steve Kinser. Not a good in NASCARs. Sorry. But yeah, so that'll do us for tonight. Ripper. It's just great to hear Luke Thomas was good, and we've got a few episodes coming out next week, Binny. I think what we'll do is we will recycle. Not say the word recycle. I've got some awesome interviews with some drivers, so we might do a little segment of the stuff that has happened after the awesome interviews I have with drivers, just to push them out over the next 2 weeks. All right, bro. So we'll just get our facts in and get out of here for the nights. No extra stuff like that, and yeah. All right, bro.
Awesome.
Thanks for the season, you two as well. Legends, where you just helped out.
That's right. Thanks for having me.
Nah, he's awesome. Really appreciate it. All started from a video game. It's insane, isn't it? It's so good.
Yeah.
Come race the bin chicken on Outlaws. I'll beat you, every single one of you.
He sucks.
Yeah.
I'll still beat you at Diamond Grove. I will never forget it.
Come off it.
Code Series, Season 1. Never forget it.
Hey, Binny, he actually won a race at you. You didn't. So.
Yeah, exactly.
But
it shows how consistent I am. The
Oh.
championship without a great win.
I'd just like to thank all the boys in my team, and I'm just so consistent.
Just like thank mum and dad.
Yeah.
Unlike George, who spends more of his time on his lid on that game than on his wheels.
Yeah, well, that's because I had someone in that 21 car always into me, so that's not my fault.
Well, he was he had a sponsorship for diffs, bro. He was just showing off the diffs and stuff. So.
Yeah, well, I was strand mufflers, so
there you go.
keep strand mufflers out of it, all right?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Vinny was sponsored by the Portaloo blokes. So anyway,
Bill Berg's Portaloos.
All right, guys, that'll do us. Thanks so much.